Welcome to the Earth Pod from TERI. In this episode, we discuss TERI's patented wastewater treatment technology, TADOX, TERI Advanced Oxidation Technology. To put the wastewater treatment scenario in context, we can go back to the Niti Aayog report of 2018, which analyzes India's water scenario. According to the report, the country is going through the worst water crisis in its history, and around 600 million people are facing water stress of varying levels. Of the 122 countries analyzed, India was at the 120th position when it came to water quality index, and 70% of our water is contaminated. It is in this context that we are discussing wastewater treatment and technologies such as TADOX. We have with us Dr. Nupur Bahadur,
Hello.
the inventor of TADOX, Associate Director, Environment and Waste Management Division, TERI, and also the head, NMCG-TERI Centre of Excellence for Water Reuse. Welcome to the Earth Pod, Dr. Bahadur.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being here.
Dr. Bahadur, before we get into TADOX, can you tell us why wastewater treatment is very critical considering the water security issues we are facing at the global, national and local levels?
See, when we are talking of water security, so there are various aspects to it. So first is the sources. India is certainly, we may say we might be in a situation of stress, but certainly not in a very bad situation. India has abundant water resources.
Okay.
Only issue with our water resources is the management.
Right.
Right. So, as we all know, management has various aspects. So, we have to look in a holistic manner that where to conserve, where to utilize for potable use, and if adequately treating, if we can get that wastewater treated and make use for non-potable purposes, then certainly we can conserve. So, the conservation or adequate treatment, water reuse, these are the things which we have to look at a holistic manner.
Okay.
So, regarding treatment is particularly very important because the resources which we have, it's a finite resource anyways.
Yeah.
So, if we are polluting it by putting inadequately treated or untreated effluents either from industry or from non-point sources like agricultural runoffs or through drains or whatever means. So, which means we are contaminating the reserves which we already have, and also it contaminates the groundwater. So, therefore, the whole idea of treatment and that too if possibly at source is essentially required so as to preserve, conserve the valuable resource which we have.
Right. If you have to explain TADOX to a lay person, minus the jargon and formulae, how will you do it?
See, TADOX is, as the name suggests, it's an advanced oxidation technology, which means it has something very innovative, very advanced, and something which is applied in the current wastewater stream.
Okay.
You don't have to replace the existing systems, it's only an integration, a retrofittable approach in the existing sewage treatment plants, STPs or effluent treatment plants, the ETPs.
Okay.
And it could be retrofitted in the existing process after understanding that a particular treatment trail has some issue.
Okay.
So, therefore, it is something which is supporting the existing system, the biological treatment systems, they have their limitations, or the tertiary treatment systems which require a lot of energy and resources. If it could be integrated, it will have the less load on the tertiary. And so, overall idea why we are unable to adopt certain technologies, because they are expensive,
Right.
they are unsustainable, unaffordable, especially to the MSME sector.
Right.
So if we can have such kind of interventions,
Hmm.
they will have less load on tertiary, so that the tertiary might become much more affordable, sustainable, compliant, robust and acceptable.
Right. So you raised a very important point here, the expensive factor. So when you look at TADOX, how expensive is it likely to be?
See, to assess any technology in terms of the cost, it is very essential to see the tangible and non-tangible benefit it is bringing. So looking majorly at the tangible and the non-tangible benefits it bring, it is majorly reducing the use of chemicals.
Right.
Then large number of chemicals are used, whereas TADOX involves certain nanomaterials
Right.
which are UV light sensitive, and it has an inherent property that in the presence of UV light they get self activated and generate certain hydroxyl radicals which actually oxidize and break the pollutant molecules and ultimately clean any pollutant stream. This is a simple science.
Right.
So which means we are using nanotechnology, which means we are using very less amount of chemicals,
Right.
less number of chemicals, and the chemical which is used is a catalyst, photocatalyst, means light activation,
Right,
and
right.
it is not part of the reaction, which means this chemical is also recoverable and reused up to a large number of cycles, up to a few months with some top up. So this is a major advantage when we are using substantially reducing the use of chemicals. In other way, we are also addressing another issue of secondary pollution with the sludge.
Okay.
So we are addressing two birds with the same.
Stone. Okay.
So this is something which is very essential. Then particularly looking at the treatment times, the treatment time is very less as compared to average 12 to 24 hours in treating sewage using conventional technologies. It is directly treating the municipal sewage in 4 to 5 hours, which means it has the potential to bypass the conventional and biological treatment systems.
Right.
Reduction in times also means we can augment the capacities within the existing infrastructure. So you don't need to construct newer STPs. Instead, we can we can double or triple the capacities. Then also time is all about money. So time, when we are saving a lot of time on time, which means we are saving on the resources, on the energy, and this is all what we see. If we have such interventions, we can certainly look forward to achieving decarbonization in wastewater treatment. We can also look at the overall wastewater treatment with regard to more energy and resource efficient systems.
Right.
So, so looking at these tangible and intangible benefits, citing one example, for example, if let's say textile industry, we all are aware that ZLD, zero liquid discharge, is a compliance from Central Pollution Control Board.
Okay.
So if industry is spending rupees 250 per KL
Okay.
for treatment with such interventions like TADOX at a pre-biological stage, so that the overall treatment becomes much more sustainable, the expected costs is around rupees 170 to 180 per KL. So this kind of cost reduction we are expecting from such interventions.
Dr. Bahadur, TADOX is said to work on industrial effluents, and that is the most highly pollutant effluents in industries like pharmacy, pharmaceuticals, dyeing, textiles. So how does TADOX work on these effluents? Like, what is the science behind it?
Science is very simple. We all are aware of certain semiconducting materials, which in the presence of UV light, they get self-activated and they generate hydroxyl radicals, and hydroxyl radical is something which is an oxidizing agent, and it actually breaks the bond of a pollutant which is responsible for color and other issues. So if we are able to address this challenge, we are actually treating the problem. Otherwise, what is happening in our conventional treatment systems, the technologies, is that we are simply converting the pollutant from one form to the other. We are using membranes, we are bypassing with one or the other methods. So if we are able to treat it properly, which means we are addressing the major problem.
Right.
So this is major issue with the industrial wastewater which we are addressing. And secondly, in India particularly, we are somehow missing the understanding about various effluents. We are treating majorly in general different kinds of effluents in a similar manner. Put this, put this, put this, and then finally evaporate it. So unless we understand that textile wastewater or a pharmaceutical wastewater or a dairy effluent, all are different in nature. So as a chemist, we have to understand the effluent, the matrix, constitution, and then probably suitably see which technologies are suitable for particular effluent. So this is where we are working, and TADOX particularly having this simple science behind it, it is therefore applicable to a large number of industrial effluents, be from any sector.
So basically the one shoe fits all philosophy doesn't work here. You'll have to kind of take it effluent by effluent, industry by industry. And also the kind of solution we would like to provide is, first we would like to understand, and this is what we are doing currently. The industries are sending samples to us. We are having feasibility studies whether it will work or not, and then industries are sending tankers to us. We are storing underground, we are treating on our pilot, and based on that techno feasibility data is generated, and based on that particular stream we are able to design the larger capacities. So this is our approach, and this will be our approach even we commercialize it. Now, apart from the sectors of textile, dyeing, pharmaceuticals, are there any other new industry that TADOX is now, like you said, a lot of pilot studies are happening. So which are the new areas that you're engaging with?
Yes, actually we began our journey with just the textile wastewater, because this technology was developed through a DST water mission project, through Water Technology Initiative Program of the Government of India, Ministry of Science and Technology, and it was just for textile wastewater and to showcase 100-liter treatment per day, just like any research project. But fortunately working with industries have helped us, and we could generate now more than 35 case studies, and the sectors expand across textile, tannery, pharmaceuticals, slaughterhouse, dairy, paper and pulp, distillery, then the MEE condensates, then you have chemical industry, pesticide industry, municipal sewage, then we have open drains we have treated, and latest we are working very closely with the governments on the landfill leachate treatments. So this is the area, broad area we look forward to. We have covered a large number of states. So this is also very important when we have tested wastewater from different sectors or different regions of the country. So be it Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. So we have got samples from these regions, Karnataka. So we are working across sectors and across geographies in the country.
A scientist and now an inventor. I'm sure it would have been a kind of a challenging journey, isn't it? Like that hours spent in the laboratories, you would have kind of hit a wall at moments, and then you would have kind of, like bring yourself every day to turn up and then work on it. Like, how has it process been to take TADOX to where it is today?
So see, like any scientist or any researcher, I did my PhD in this area, in the area of photochemistry and photocatalysis from IIT Roorkee in the year 2005. And during 2000 to 2005 itself, this area was very new. And during my PhD, I developed the science of it. The kinetics, the adsorption studies, just about the sense of it. And during that time only I worked on various pollutants and degradation, that was it. Then during my postdoctorate research as a scientist in CSIR National Physical Laboratory, New Delhi, with DST Young Scientist Project, I worked on nanotechnology and its application. So there I developed newer materials and looking at different applications of nanotechnology.
Okay, okay.
Then that was fine, any researcher would do. But in 2014, when this new government came and launched the Namami Gange mission, the National Mission for Clean Ganga was launched, it was that time when I was highly inspired. Then I thought, how as a scientist, how as a that time I was purely into teaching, and that time I thought how I could contribute in such a valuable national mission. And then actually began my journey. I thought, and as well said, there is a will, there is a way. And there came to me the ideas whether I can use my PhD area of photocatalysis and postdoctorate in nanotechnology. Can I combine both of them? And then can I work on the real effluents? And then began my journey, my search to industrial areas. It took 2 years for me to identify the real problem, what country is facing. I attended, then I have to upgrade a lot because I am a chemist, a nanotechnologist. Venturing into water technology was a big challenge. So I overcome it by attending a lot of training programs. I studied a lot, I worked a lot, small experimentation in the lab. Small volumes, because hardly we could get 1 liter or 2 liter of sample, and that too from far industrial area. So during 2015 itself, I had 3 patents.
Okay.
And then I could identify, yes, it is workable. And then I presented this entire work to the India International Science Festival for the first time in the technology forum, and that time it was Make in India.
Okay, okay.
And so to say, I bagged the first prize in the technologies for Make in India, and that was something, it was the turning point when the Ministry of Science and Technology recognized our work. And then after this, of course, this proved that the direction was right. Then I wrote project to DST water mission, and it was sanctioned project, and with that I came to TERI in 2017. So this is the journey from 17 with funding utilized in last 4-5 years, including Corona time. Now we, in 2020 itself, we could have the 10 KLD first pilot plant, which is successfully running in the campus, TERI Gurgaon campus. So rest is history.
Yes, that's quite inspiring and encouraging to kind of hear that. And like people kind of move away, from your academic thing and go into your career, but like in the sense that you kind of decided to blend your doctoral research and the postdoctoral part of it, like years later. That's kind of encouraging to know that it's never too late to do anything and think of something new.
Certainly, there is never too late. And when I ventured, it was high time. I thought, if not now, then never. So this was something which I always wanted to do. And also, one thing I realized, that in academia, we are particular in India, academia is working in isolation, and industry is requiring something. They have their own R&D centers, they are reinventing the wheel. But instead, if we can have such a system where industry can come forward to academia, ask for a problem to solve, fund them, so that both will be in advantageous position. Academicians will get direction, a sense, because today's time is not about what you want to sell. It's about what is the requirement, what is the mood of the nation, what is the need of the nation, where are the funds. So there could never be a best time, I would say, when so many national missions majorly centered around water. If we are unable to do something, then when? So this is something which, as an academician, as a researcher, we have to change our perception as well, that how our results, our science can help in national missions. For example, if let's say in Swachh Bharat mission, SBM 2.0, the requirement is to enhance treated water reuse, which means our research, our policy interventions should all be focused on how to enhance the water use. The technology should be aligned or reused in such a way that we can enhance treated water qualities to higher levels, so that they can help for non-potable uses, and potable use can be there available for the common people or other purposes. So this is how we have to change our perception.
Right. And when you come back to TADOX, what stage is it in right now, like in terms of commercialization?
So, see, technology commercialization has 9 levels going to the market, pre-commercialization. So, we are at TRL 7 and going to 8. So, we are at TRL 7 and 8. Right now, functional plants and with the sanctioned projects. So, very soon, and also we are working very closely with various industries. We are in the last stage of discussions for the license agreements. And also one thing, I really welcome industries particularly to come forward, because it is here until as a researcher or research institution we could do. And lot of government funding has helped us to reach here. But now what is required is an EPC contractor or a company, wastewater treatment company, with their engineering inputs. They can certainly shape our ideas, our science and technology.
And scale it up.
Exactly. So right now the need is to have the commercialization with the reputed companies coming forward and taking it.
So TADOX is purely your baby, and after all those years spent in the lab, the various field trials that it went through, now it's at the kind of doorstep of commercialization. And like you are now kind of welcoming other sectors to come and take it forward, make it bigger, more effective. So is this what a scientist really lives for, like to get to something that can eventually works for the larger public good?
Certainly any scientist would look forward to his or her invention eventually reaching or seeing the light of the day. And for me, it's really, I'm grateful, I would say, that the vision which I foresee, I was inspired by the national missions, the Namami Gange, the Swachh Bharat mission, and somewhere if I would say I aspired to clean Ganga. If today I think, I never thought that I would be heading an NMCG funded center, which means the work which has gone in all these years, the intentions were pure, the efforts were honest, and as a team, TERI could provide all the resources, all the support which we could from TERI put in, together with the funding support. I think if we foresee anything and we have a vision, we are confident of our solutions, and if we really work hard, together with the support of the system, funding support, institutional support, regulatory support, industry, the end user is industry or the one who we seek support from. If all these things are in place, then I think every researcher, scientist like me could see the light of the day.
Yeah, that's truly inspiring, and like we only wish bigger, better and larger achievements for TADOX, which has already won. I forgot to mention that a few awards have come your way already. So like let's hope and like that there are greater things in store for TADOX.
Thank you so much.
It was lovely to have you on our podcast. Wishing you the very best.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.